Hello, friends. How are you today? I'm so happy to be here and to talk with you about the Schumann resonance. And I really am happy to be here, and I feel really grateful that I can make videos and people want to watch them, people like yourself, and hear what I have to say about energy, and it delights me to no end. So thank you for being here, and thanks for doing this together, and thank you to the people who have been here for a long time. I know once in a while you guys will pop your something in the comments, and I'll be like, oh yay, it's good to see you again. So I pay attention, and and thank you to the new people, because I've been noticing that I've been getting a bunch of new people as well. So thank you so much. All right. So today, this is the chart today on June 10th, but I want to talk about something that was on the chart that I did not do a video on, and it was big wave. And I didn't do the video on it because I looked at the wave and I was like, I'm not doing this. And when I do the interpretation, you'll see why. I could see what the energy was. And I was like, forget it. I've done enough of these videos. I did all the dragon and birthing mother videos and revelations. And I just was like, I'm not doing this also. But now I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you what I saw on that chart. And then I'm just going to leave it open. You can make your own conclusions about what the energies might be. Now, I'm titling this video, Divinity in the Darkness. But here it is, okay? Here's the wave. And it's this big wave. It's the last big wave of energy, and it was on June 2nd, okay? Now, I just want to do a quick review of the energy structures that have been on the chart, so that we kind of get an orientation of where we are. So here is the image that I called the Dragon and Birthing Mother. This, to me, I called the burning bush, but I deleted the part of the video where I talked about it. But it was about Beltane and the burning bush that I think it's Elijah sees. This was the narrow gate. Okay, so that's this right here with the green shield there. Yeah, this is the wide gate here. And then here is the next image that happened. And as soon as I looked at this, I knew it was full of dark forces energy. And the reason, full of that is not really the best way to say it. I knew that it was a great representation of a hand with red fingernails clawing its way through the chart. And it's because my mind is like, I can pretty much turn these images around in my mind pretty well at this point. But you can see here, and I'm not going to make a big deal about this. I'm not going to put it in the thumbnail. But you can see here that when you do that, I'm just going to do this so you can really see it pretty well, because I want you to see it. Okay. So you can see here that it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-fingered hand. That's what this is. A 6-fingered hand. Now, you will have to research on this on your own if you're interested in this, because I'm not going to go into it. There is a portrait of a president that suggests a possible 6-fingered hand, a recent portrait of a recent president sitting in ivy. There's also there's a whole thing about people with 6-fingered hands, whatever. I don't want to go into it, but I just thought it was interesting. Let's see what else was going on at this time. Let's go to Google and see what might have been going on. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, so what I wanted to say is that there is divinity in the darkness. And I think that's why there's so much of a white wave here. And let's go and take a look behind the scenes and look. You can see that the frequencies dipped significantly. What I say is that when the frequencies dip significantly like this, that it's the influence of an expanded consciousness in the chart of maybe a celestial force, or there's something is moving the frequencies in a very dramatic way. And I think that it's the presence of divinity that does this. And that's what I'm talking about, divinity in the darkness. And what's really interesting is that these waves that have moved the red and the yellow have not recently had as much of an effect on the green, but now it does. And you'll see here that the frequencies go to the low ends of their ranges here. Okay, so the very low ends, I think this goes down to 18.2. But so this wave, if you will, really, really goes down to the lowest part of our experience as human beings in these frequency sets. So what do I mean by that? What I see, what I explain this as, what I like, how I interpret this, is that each one of these frequencies, okay, so we've got 4 resonances that are in a frequency range. Frequency is a characteristic of the resonance, as is amplitude, quality, and probably other things, right? Components that we're either unaware of or that are part of our elite science. Because I think that our elite science is very good at measuring things. And maybe one day that will be brought out to the people so we can catch up. That's my thought. But anyway, okay, so how I see it is that each one of these sets represents an aspect of human experience. And it's fascinating. Whoa. It's fascinating because, bing, I guess I was right. It's fascinating because what I've done is over time, I have given characterizations of these sets of frequency ranges, okay, which is within which the resonances exist. More of a divine presence here, or simply indicating where things are on the chart. More of a very dense experience of emotions and thoughts and the forces of darkness, and deep into our own shadow personalities in the red. In the yellow, the non-physical closest to the human, even our thoughts, emotions, dreams, but also the shadow side of our personality, and interdimensional experiences that we can have that are non-physical and with non-physical entities, both positive and negative. And then the green, in my view, is just where we are at, like as the human collective. It's just kind of like a tone of humanity where we are at. So in these frequency sets, we've been brought to the bottom of the ranges, whatever that means. It looks like it means that our deepest, darkest fears are being brought up. The shadow forces are at play, at work, perhaps. The power levels, the amplitude, the strength was at 67 in the white, 44 in the yellow, 31 in the red, and 25 in the green. Those were the peaks. They were pretty well distributed. White was a bit higher, maybe 50% higher or so than yellow, but because we've seen other waves where the white was like double yellow, which is usually the second most strongest wave of energy. Now, divinity in the darkness. What I want to say here, it's interesting that the power was at 67 and not 66, because as you may know, 66 and the number 6 is used a lot by the forces of darkness for the various things that they do. And the fact of the matter is that 6 is the number of points on Solomon's star. So there is a holy and divine representation of this number. So I just thought it was funny that the power peaked at 67 and just missed it by 1. But anyway, we can just laugh at how divinity works, I guess, and be amused. What's interesting about the quality peaks here is that during this claw wave, as I think of it, you did have the white peak at the end of this wave at 17. And you had the red peak at 17, which I thought was really interesting. So it really was the white and the red representing the forces that we just discussed. So to me, that's confirmation in terms of what I felt intuitively. But I mean, look, you've got these red tips here at the top of the wave. So, that's visually, you get that feeling as well. So, divinity in the darkness. I just wanted to talk about that theme for a moment. When I looked at this wave here more closely today, what I saw was a man's face right here. And I saw his hair flopped in front of his face. I see his eye here with the eyebrow above. I see a nose here. I see a mouth here. And he's looking forward. And I don't know if this is a mirror, if he's looking in a mirror here. But I know that he knows this tremendous six-fingered red fingernailed claw is there behind this, whatever this is, this mirror, this wall, this protection. He knows what's out there. And he's very serious. And looking at it, let me make it a little bit bigger here. He's very serious. And he's up against a lot. And he's wondering. Perhaps he's wondering what to do. Or perhaps he's looking at it with an inner knowing and faith. And because he's willing to face it. And this is the interesting thing when our foe is the forces of darkness. It is interesting because there's a little cross. You might have already seen it. There's a little cross right down here by the claw. It's like a reminder that God is still with us. God is present with us. No matter what we go through, no matter what's happening or what appears to be happening on the earth. And so there's the idea here of the presence of faith and the presence of God backing us up. And the thing is that, it gives us the opportunity to hone our faith, to make an inner commitment, to say, I'm going to be in this for the long haul, to say, I'm going to stick with it. And to stand up and do that in strength rather than choosing to have an approach of being the victim. And there's so much in our society, victimization, complaining about how one has been wronged. And certainly these things exist, but they don't make us strong. And what makes us strong is focusing on the inner faith within our, building up our inner resilience and making the choice that I'm going to step forward embodying that. I'm going to build my resolve in the face of these energies. It's much more fun to be your own hero. In doing so, you're not a hero for anyone else. You're just a hero for you because you dig deep from within. You pull forth the willingness to say, I will do it anyway. It doesn't matter what I'm facing. God is on my side and victory is at hand.